Good morning and welcome to Living Local 15. I'm your host, Jessica Williams. Thank you so much for joining me today. It's time to grab a cup of joe and enjoy the show. First up, we are counting down to the Cinderella Dress Day and learning about some new giveaways, education, and perks from the event. Then Ovation Insurance joins me to give some really interesting advice on why you don't need add-on insurance for your home and auto. And later, the Fort Wayne Center for Learning is here to share about their unique tutorial academy and how to enroll for the summer. That and more happening now.
Fashion, food, and fun. You're watching Living Local 15 with your host, Jessica Williams.
We are counting down the days until Cinderella Dress Day, which is an incredible event where all girls in our community gets prom dresses. And joining me today to share more about this event is Tanya Hughes, who is the president of the Fort Wayne Medical Society Alliance and the chair of Cinderella Dress Day. Hello.
Hi, Jessica.
Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Good, thank you. Okay. So it's almost time for this big day.
It is.
You know, this event is just so special, and as I learn more and more about it, it just really excites me. So I wanted us to share it again. Therefore, people have an opportunity to get your girls, collect them, and get them ready for Saturday's event.
Thank you so much for having us. Yeah, we're really excited to share this with the community. It's our 22nd year having it. We're at the Grand Wayne Center on Saturday from 8 to 2, and it's a health fair, and dresses are free for all girls grades 7 through 12.
Yes, and they get to come and browse, right? So they get to have that whole shopping experience, try on dresses, and see which one matches their style, their size, and their comfort. And I know that they get 2 dresses, so share with me what all they get in this whole package.
They do. So after they go through the waiting room where we have health speakers as they're waiting to get into the prom boutique, they get 2 dresses. They get a long dress and a short dress, and we have over 7,000 dresses to choose from this year. It's truly amazing, the community that came out and gave to us this year. So they get the dresses, they get shoes, jewelry. We have 80 hair and makeup stylists there to do their hair and makeup.
Yes.
And we also have Barbara's New Beginnings that donates new undergarments every year. And those are first come, first serve. So once you come in, I would go straight to that table because you want to get that fitted to go underneath your gown anyway.
Right.
So.
Yeah, and just looking at the example that we have here, I mean, high quality bras, I mean, beautiful shoes, jewelry, and of course these dresses. So I had the opportunity to go to the warehouse and to see all of the dresses, and I'm like, oh my gosh, they're so beautiful.
They really are. They're so much fun to go in there and play year round and tag them and sort them. And we're just really blessed by everyone that gives us amazing dresses. I mean, a lot of them still have brand new tags on them.
Yeah, that's awesome. And so let's talk more about the education that the girls will receive. You have different speakers that they will hear from. So kind of give me a rundown of how that portion of the event will go.
Sure. So the event's put on by the Fort Wayne Medical Society Alliance, and so we want to have a little health education to that as well. And so what's a better opportunity than with them waiting in line to get into the prom boutique where we have a captive audience? We put health speakers on stage, and we have 8 of them. We have Super Shots that's going to be talking about the Gardasil vaccination and HPV. We have Bare Knuckle Recovery that's coming to talk about the opioid epidemic and how one pill can kill. We have also some self-defense with Penny Wolf. That'll show some Taekwondo and some self-defense moves and to protect yourself. We have a group called Heather's Closet that teaches and talks about healthy dating habits and how to stay safe. So we have a big assortment of things that the girls will learn about that morning.
Yes, so a full day of fun and activities, and I want to highlight again the safety aspect of it. So parents are allowed to drop off their teens or tweens, but they're also allowed to stay with them. So kind of walk me through how that works.
Sure. So once you're in the main stage room, that's the only way to get into the the area. There's one door into the event, and we welcome moms, dads, boyfriends, anyone in that particular area. Now, once the girls get into where the dresses are, we ask that it's only females in there. So if you have a dad that came shopping with you, or a brother, or a boyfriend, we ask for them to wait out into the lobby on the couches, and you can go out and show them a dress that you're trying on, but we do ask for females only.
Yeah.
And once you're in that fitting area and dress area, the only way out is the last door, and we do have security. We have 2 police officers there to make sure that everything's safe for the teens.
Yeah, that's great, because I'm sure, you know, they want to feel comfortable, and the Grand Wayne Center is just such a beautiful
They're
location.
amazing. Yes, they have a lot of staff there to support us all day long too. They're wonderful.
Yes. Okay, so tell me about the process if girls want to get involved. So this is all girls in our community from 7th to 12th grade. They don't have to register, right? They just show up and wait in line.
Just show up on Saturday, February 3rd. The doors to get in line will open at 7 a.m., but I guarantee you girls will be there before that. The first 10 girls in line is going to get an extra ticket for jewelry. Be there early to get in line, to be one of the first ones in the door, and then the event will start at 8 o'clock.
Okay, yeah, well, great. Last year was 1,700 girls.
Yes.
And this year, hopefully so many more.
I hope so.
We'll get blessed with this.
Yes.
Yeah. Because every girl deserves to dress like Cinderella.
They do. Everyone deserves to feel like a princess for the day at least.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, thank you so much, Tanya.
Thank you.
And if you would like more information about Cinderella Dress Day, we'll have their website listed below, and you can check out their Facebook page to get more information. We'll be right back.
Have an idea for the show? Want to find out how you can be a guest? Contact us at livinglocal15@wayne.com.
Welcome back. Today we are going to talk about add-on insurance and whether or not you need it. And joining me today is Joel Dunham, who is the president of Ovation Insurance and our insurance expert. Good morning, Joel.
Good morning. Thanks
How's
for
it
having me.
going?
Good. How about you?
Good. Going well, thank you. Okay, so this is actually really fascinating. Add-on insurance is something that people have for their home and their auto, but you're going to break it down a little bit further and perhaps tell us things that we did not know. So first, start off by sharing what is add-on insurance.
Yeah, so in the past, I would say 10 years, 5 years especially, a lot of homeowners insurance companies and auto have started adding on additional features to their plans.
Okay.
So a good example that most people have is roadside assistance, right? That's not a traditional liability or property coverage. That's something additional.
Okay.
And so a good example on the home side might be identity recovery insurance as well. So there's a whole bunch of extra things that you can add on to your policy that might boost it up and cover you for different things past what a normal policy might be for.
Right, and this is something that has been offered for years and years, so people could actually have this a part of their policy and not even really realize that it's add-on. They just are probably like, okay, this goes with my plan. So what you're saying is people need to start to reevaluate what those add-ons are. Is that right?
Yeah, so we're at a really interesting time. You know, before I came in, I went to Google and I thought, I'm just going to look at what's going on in the industry, kind of big picture. That always helps me focus a little more. And what I saw was 40% rate increases in North Carolina. Ooh. Wall Street Journal said it's becoming near impossible in some states to write home and auto insurance. And Amazon got completely out of the business. They weren't in it for very long, but they're out now too. And that's just kind of the state of the market. So I started thinking, okay, there's things that we can control on our policies and there's things we can't. Well, of the things that we can control, one of the scenarios we see with these add-on coverages, I'll just give you an example with roadside assistance.
Yeah.
So let's just say that you've had maybe a tough couple of months with your car. And so you have to have your car towed. You turn in the bill to the insurance company, $50, okay, they pay it, fine. Well, then you have another problem with your car. You turn in another bill, $50, and then you have another one. So now you got 3 in a year. It's $150. It's no big deal. At least it seems that way. But the insurance company looks at this and says, well, now you've had 3 incidents, even though they've only paid $150. And so now they're asking a whole lot more questions about, well, are you going to turn in every single little claim here? Is there something wrong with your vehicle? What's going on? And so what might be worth considering now is, okay, we have two options to keep this off of our record. The first is, do we want to self-insure it and just say, okay, $50, the likelihood of me having more than one tow bill every year is pretty low.
Right.
I can just pay that myself. Or maybe you travel a lot and you're saying, no, I've got to have roadside. I need to have that. If I'm traveling at 11:30 at night, I need a number to call. Well, then maybe you should look at something separate, like a AAA or a company that's separate from your auto policy to keep it off your record and keep your rates lower.
So with thinking about the difference or comparing the rates, and through AAA, it's like an added maybe $2.99, $3.99 perhaps a month. Is that comparable to what the add-on would be through your insurance?
It depends on the company, but for the most part, I'd say it's pretty close.
Okay.
Some will be a little less, but to keep it off of your record, it could be well worth paying an extra $1 a month to have the coverage, but keep it separate.
So when you say record, you're saying that if someone has a driving record with their insurance, and their driving record, of course, determines their rate to get it low, that roadside assistance claims could actually impact your overall insurance premium?
It could.
Okay.
It'll show up as an incident. Now, it's not going to be classed the same as a collision or something like that, but you have, 4, 5, 6 roadside assistance claims on your plan. That's not only going to be looked at by your insurance company, but if you decide to shop it the next year, those incidents are going to follow you for 3 years or however long those companies look at. And so now is a great time that if you have had some claims activity or you've had some incidents, maybe it's time to separate these things out and not put everything together in one bucket.
In one bucket. Okay, now let's talk about the other example that you gave for the home insurance, the identity theft add-on. So what would be the benefits in someone taking that off?
So, it's a great coverage to have because it's there if something happens. It's reactionary. But there are companies out there that will do more than that. They may cost a little bit more, but they will have higher limits. Your homeowner's policy may pay $15,000, $20,000, something like that. But you go with a private company, which we've worked with before, and they may pay upwards of $1 million per incident depending on what happens. If somebody gets your social security number and starts wreaking havoc to your credit. But better than that is the homeowner's plan will react to what's happening. But you go with somebody else, they're going to monitor for you, and they're like your bank and credit cards do that already to an extent. But you go with a company that is constantly monitoring, you can prevent a lot of these incidents before they ever happen.
Okay, gotcha. So basically, it allows for just a different level of service.
Right.
Making it outside of the actual insurance plan. That's really interesting and good insight, being an insurance agent, just because we would assume that bundling everything would classify us as a more profitable or valued client, but it could be hindering us if we put all our eggs in one basket.
Could be.
All right, well, thank you so much, Joel, for that information today. We appreciate it.
Thanks for having me on.
And if you'd like more information about Ovation Insurance, we'll have their website listed below, and I'll see you after the break.
Follow us on social media at Living Local 15.
The Fort Wayne Center for Learning is an academy that does much more than just teach kids how to read, write, and do math. They also help them learn how to learn. And here to break it all down is Lori Lehman, who is their director, their executive director, and Sammy Kugler, who is their director of instruction. Good morning, ladies.
Good morning.
How
Good
you doing?
morning. Thanks for having us.
Yes. So right now is a really great time for people to learn about your organization, because though you've been around, you are doing open enrollment for the summer. So let's start off, Lori. Just give us an overview about the Center of Learning.
Sure. So we were established 20 years ago. We've been in this community for the last 2 decades serving families. And to kind of break it down, any student that's struggling for any reason, we teach the basics in a way that makes sense to them. So we individualize all of the instruction so that it's exactly what that student needs. And because of it, they've been able to, historically our students are able to make huge progress over a short period of time.
That's so great and an interesting approach, because this does not replace schools, right? This is like a tutorial experience that they have in addition to their regular learning and curriculum, correct?
Yeah, absolutely. So we consider our programs to be remedial in nature. So any student that comes in will start with an academic assessment to see kind of where their strengths and weaknesses lie, and then we'll kind of tailor the programming specifically to their needs, but it does not take the place of normal school. We are here simply to fill in the gaps so that they can return to a normal classroom and function at a level that we would expect them to.
Right. And so, Sammy, as the director of instruction, you actually get to work with all the programs. So can you kind of break down each of them for us?
Yeah, so our most common form of programming that we recommend is the intensive programs, and that's the remedial programs to get students caught up to grade level expectations. Our most popular program is the reading program, and the thing that sets our program apart from other maybe more traditional approaches to reading instruction is the aspect of imagery. So a lot of our students that struggle with reading, a lot of them have what I like to call dyslexic tendencies. So they might struggle with reversing some letters or witnessing letters move around on the page in front of them, which makes reading and spelling incredibly difficult. So I've actually brought a little demonstration just to kind of show you. This isn't a trick, I promise. So I'm going to hold this up.
Okay.
What is this?
Pen.
Okay, great. Now what if I hold it this way?
A pen.
Yes. This way.
A pen.
Still a pen. Okay. Now what if I hold up something like this?
B.
It is a B, but what if I hold it this way?
D.
It's a D. And what if I flip it this way?
Q.
And this way.
P.
So letters can be very tricky for a lot of our students. So what we do is we take it down to the very basics. We get them seeing the letters in their imagination so that they can use that knowledge later to spell more challenging words. I empathize with my students all the time that there are a lot of words in the English language that just don't make a lot of sense, and you kind of just have to hold those letters in your imagination and know how to spell them, and we teach them how to do that.
Yeah, that's really great. Really great. And so, Lori, who is this program for? Who's your target audience, and how do they qualify?
So we work with any school-age student from typically around first grade up through high school. And it's really anybody. You do not have to have a diagnosis. You do not have to have a history of dyslexia or any other learning disorder. It's literally for anyone that is struggling in school. And some of the programs might be short if the student just needs a little help. Sometimes for those students that need a lot more help, it'll be longer instruction.
Okay, so it's a custom curriculum.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Everything is tailored to the student.
Oh, good. That's awesome. And what's the setting and environment like? Is this a group class? Is it individual training or teaching?
Yeah, all of our instruction is done one-on-one. So the student works in a classroom in a one-on-one setting with our instructors to get caught up in whichever subject areas they need.
Yeah, okay, great. And so let's talk about the enrollment period that's taking place now, Lori. So talk to me about the process and what should parents really know right now to prepare for the summer?
Absolutely. So every single family that comes to us, we do an assessment with the student. It's an academic assessment that takes 4 hours. That sounds really daunting. I promise it's not scary. We have lots of kids that are smiling after the first hour. Right. But what that allows us to do is really see exactly what the student is struggling with, really pinpoint the difficulties, and then Sammy makes her recommendation on what programs we would recommend based on that assessment. Okay. What I love about it is it really allows the parents to understand where their children are struggling the most, and then at the end of instruction, we do a post-assessment. So that, again, allows them to see the progress they've made throughout the program, but also helps us identify if there are any things they're still struggling with that they may need to work on or maybe just focus on a little bit more.
And so that first step, does that take place before they actually enroll? Is that the preliminary step?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
What a process, but that's really cool. And so if someone is interested, they should go to your website?
Yep, or you can give us a call. Either way, just reach out. We can get those scheduled fairly quickly right now.
Yeah, that's awesome. And just from both of your experiences with being a part of this organization, just tell me one thing that really stands out to you as you see kids develop and just kind of maybe change into a new person, maybe develop more confidence and leave just more educated.
I love that you use the word confidence, because that is one thing that I notice out of a lot of our students is, yes, they're from a data standpoint, their reading scores and their math scores and their comprehension scores are improving with us. But what doesn't get portrayed in that data is the confidence aspect. I have a student that's popping into my head right now that she was a first grader, and she was very, very shy coming to us, and she really struggled with reading. And it was almost kind of a task to get her to even talk to us in general. She would whisper and hide, and then she began working through her programs, the confidence sort of started to appear, and then she was running those sessions. She was telling us, actually, we're supposed to do this next. So just the idea that something as simple as, now I know my letters, I can fit in with my classmates, and the students just truly shine. They do.
Sounds like she found her voice.
She did. She definitely did.
Yes. Lori?
Yeah, we have a student right now that I was thinking about. Now, as the executive director, I don't always get to work with the students. I'm often, in my office, but I love that they just need somebody to come to sometimes when they accomplish something. And this happened last week. We have a 17-year-old boy. So he's, on the older side of our students. And he was so excited that he read and spelled respectability. And he ran into my office and had to share with me. And I was so proud of him. He was just beaming, and to see a 17-year-old boy beaming with pride, you don't see that every day. It was a great moment.
That's a long word. I mean,
it is.
Okay, that's awesome. Well, thank you so much, ladies, for joining me today.
Thank you for having us. We really appreciate it.
And if you would like more information about the Fort Wayne Center for Learning, we'll have their website listed below. Give them a call, and we'll be right back.
Living Local 15, proudly driven by the Kelly Automotive Group.
Well, that's our show for today. Thank you so much for tuning in. And remember, you can always catch up on episodes and segments of Living Local 15 by going to WANE.com, downloading the WANE app, and also checking us out on YouTube. And I'll leave you with this. It's never too late to live your best life, so start living it today. And I look forward to seeing you here tomorrow. Bye-bye.